about Jaden Springer, folks. So if you're not hip to Jaden Springer, you're gonna be soon. He is inexplicably buried in Philly's depth chart, um, in Doc Rivers' jail, but he is already an extremely impressive defensive talent. Despite being a draft pick in 2021 in the 20s, which was obviously way too late, Springer is still very, very young. He's 20, which is younger than quite a few players even last draft. I believe he's a month or two younger than Brandon Miller, who was the number 2 pick. So let's dive in. Springer is already a lockdown point of attack defender at 6'4", 220 something strong. Really has no trouble sliding with lateral quickness and changing directions with his hips. He's so strong in both his lower and upper body. And these reps, he can physically overwhelm guards like Brogdon or anyone else who he's going up against. It's really difficult to get past him. His hands are so quick, especially against bigger players who Springer can guard because of his strength and his length and his overall ability to guard up. Springer's really good at playing with those. He's really awesome guarding up. And anyone with a weak handle generally is going to get plucked. Springer is probably going to be one of the better playmaking guards in the league whenever he ends up getting to play a lot. Really impressive nail defender too. I love his ability to change directions here. We see Springer sagging to the nail right here to help cut off this drive before recovering and immediately changing directions. I think he gets called for a foul there, but either way, the tools are impressive in shutting that play down. This is another kind of unlucky play, but an example again of how hard it is to win cleanly against Jaden Springer. He is the ultimate advantage denier. Like, it is so hard to create advantages against him. He's able to turn his hips. Corey Joseph, despite having his torso to the ground, can create no leverage. And Springer stays in front of him. I don't know. The ball ends up weirdly bouncing back to Kojo. But Springer dominated in that rep. This was a game towards the end of the season where Springer played a lot of minutes and was like incredible on offense and guarded Trey the whole time. If there is a defensive weakness, it would be his inability to guard change of direction moves downhill because of his struggles decelerating. When oftentimes guards who are good at slowing down on a dime can give Springer trouble, for some reason he has issues with maintaining that, with stopping his momentum. As you see, he kind of flies by when DeJounte hop steps there. He's going to be an incredible screen defender, just blows up stuff at the point of attack. Again, we see some of the issues with deceleration, where Springer's able to just annihilate the screen. There is no screening Jaden Springer at this point. And then, despite sticking with Dennis Smith this whole time, he just, for some reason, gets way too low and far back, and he just isn't going to be able to contest that shot because he was so affected by his momentum and he couldn't stop himself, which is an interesting thing that I'd imagine might hamper his ability to guard the really quick guards and like guard down, where he's going to be able to stay attached to screens again. That's, I think, more of a defensive breakdown there, but really impressive flexibility, keeps a hand on Trey. Obviously, I think that's more just Trey being Trey and making a ridiculous pass because, well, he's Trey. The activity at the nail is really impressive, and just playing one pass away, where he's always got a great sense of where his man is, but also pressuring the ball, stunting, and making a play when he sees the ball break loose. Springer's playmaking instinct combined with the very solid discipline is so impressive. He's not what I'd call a gambler, but he's so good making plays, perfectly reads the weak side there, knows exactly where he has to drift, where his help responsibilities are, cuts off that first pass on the X out. It's simple stuff, but again, only 20 with limited NBA experience. Springer is a special defender already. Even on plays like this, we see how quickly he's moving around, always in his stance, and this is just a wonderful shot by Svi. That is a fantastic contest that almost certainly could have been a block, maybe. But Point being, Springer is so impressive. He's gonna have awesome recovery tools, as I mentioned. The quickest of quick guards can give him some trouble, but Springer is going to be able to leap off of 2 feet as he always has and block shots with great timing. He's probably gonna potentially be one of the better shot blocking, rim protecting guards in the league because of his size and because he's almost more of like a combo forward defender at times, where he's really impressive making rotations from the weak side and protecting the rim like a big man. That is his center rotation right there. Those active hands he uses for steals on the perimeter also come in handy when he's stripping post-ups as well. And Springer is just a very impressive defender overall. I think every single time he's had a chance in the NBA, I watched all of his defensive possessions for this videos, which is not many. He looked overall very impressive. It's hard to say because of the sample, but I think he's a positive defender in the NBA the second he starts playing regular rotation minutes with potential to be so much more. And the Sixers need to start playing him for that. Obviously, the offense is the main concern and his main, hurdle to getting to the NBA. A lot of the on-ball creation for someone who isn't a great shooter is pretty rough at times, where there isn't much of a plan and Springer's kind of just throwing stuff up, not getting great advantages. But there are flashes where Springer's able to use his handle and his burst and his strength. The burst was never great, but he's so strong, able to easily bump Nemhard right there off of his spot, is able to draw a foul, getting into the teeth of the paint. Easy advantage creation, and the creation flashes were absolutely there in college. I thought Springer was an amazing prospect. I still do. Going back, I had him in my top 5 or 6, I believe, in this draft, and it was partly because of creation flashes like this, where Springer attacking off the catch could survey with his hop step before pump faking. We don't really see much of this off catch decisive scoring, which of course is mostly the fault of the role Springer's played when he's in and the fact that he doesn't really play. But the counter moves, even without great bursts, were impressive. We see the flexibility, the strength. So hopefully Springer, whenever he plays, can work a little bit on offense as a secondary driver. Hopefully the shot is good enough. But he is an NBA defender right now and has potential to be an all-defense level guy. There aren't a ton of guard-wing defender combos with his level of lateral quickness, defensive playmaking, and general like off-ball defense feel and consistency. Even though I don't think he's best suited to guard the quickest point guards against like 2s through 4s, honestly, he's gonna thrive, and that's while providing really impressive off-ball impact, not only in terms of blocks and steals, but also in terms of just little plays and little shades and closeouts and cutoffs like this. Springer's the GOAT. Subscribe to my Patreon if you'd like.